Hi, I'm Ava Green with Terri's Yarns and Crafts. In this video, I'm going to show you how to seam a slipped stitch sweater sleeve. When you knit your pieces, either sleeves or fronts, backs, if you slip the first stitch of every row, you get a neat edge. You can see here, just nice, even edge. And then when you block the pieces, they lay nice and flat. The only thing to remember when you're putting something together is that each one of these slip stitches has only been worked once every 2 rows. So what we're going to do is take our yarn and connect your yarn to one corner of one end of your sleeve. And then I'm going to go over to the other corner and just pull them together. Now I'm going to go down in between my slip stitch, which is these stitches right here, and you'll see a bar in between the slip stitch and the first stitch of the sleeve. I'm going to run my needle underneath that bar. Now I'm going to go back over to this side and I'm going to run my needle under the first bar on this sleeve and just alternate back and forth as I go. We're going to go in the stitch that we came out of before, under the bar, coming up, going down, and back up on the opposite side. And you're probably thinking, that looks absolutely horrible. I'm not going to do anything like that, but just wait. What you're doing is what's called the mattress stitch, and it is a good way of seaming something together, especially when you're using stockinette stitch, which is, of course, knit 1 row, purl 1 row, and you continue all the way down to the edge, to the opposite edge, and then when you get a good piece done, you don't have to do the whole seam, but you merely pull your yarn and watch. The edge stitches, the slip stitch edge stitches, pull to the, and they move to the inside, and you now have a seam that is nice and smooth and hidden. Of course, I've worked it in contrasting yarn. On this example, you would work it in a yarn that matched your garment. You need, however, though, to have a yarn that is fairly smooth so it can be pulled easily, and it needs to be strong enough that it can be tugged just a little bit. But you have a nice smooth edge, and a lot of times you can't even tell that there's a seam there. And this is how you seam a slip stitch sweater sleeve. I'm Ava Green. You can find instructions for this at terrysyarnsandcrafts.com.